So we're living in a testosterone epidemic. Testosterone is at an all-time low, even compared to decades ago when even men who were significantly older, have higher testosterone than some of the youngest men that we have. And being young is when your testosterone should be at an all-time high. But we have men these days that have very low testosterone, and they're turning to testosterone replacement therapy. They're turning towards these medications, these exogenous hormones to be able to repair their levels. And you have to realize that the reason why we have such low testosterone is because the environment that has been created for us is literally forcing the testosterone to be as low as possible. You have to understand, testosterone is the elixir of men. This is the hormone that men need to become masculine, to become the man that every person wants. Like the man that you see yourself, the ultimate man, that man has high testosterone. What are symptoms of high testosterone? This is when you're super ambitious, right? You have a ton of energy. You have lower body fat. You don't store a lot of fat, right? You're lean. You can build muscle very easily, right? Like these are symptoms of high testosterone. You're disagreeable. And being disagreeable is not bad. Being disagreeable is actually a great thing because it allows for you to create your own opinions, your own thoughts, your own processes, and you don't get influenced by other people. See, I'm not going to sit here and be a conspiracy theorist and say, oh, like they have an agenda. I'm not going to sit here and say that. Whether you believe it or not, what I'm seeing in the media right now is that it's forcing men to basically lose out on that side of them. It's forcing them to lose their edge. It's forcing them to consume certain foods that are highly estrogenic. See, in a man's body and even in a woman's body, there is a balance of estrogen and of testosterone, right? Right now, men are high in estrogen and low in testosterone, right? A highly feminized state to be in because women tend to have higher estrogen and lower testosterone. And so when you have men whose hormones are imbalanced, so most of you probably have imbalanced hormones. So you start to feel these weird effects of depression. You start to feel like you're not yourself. You start to feel tired, lethargic. You hold fat in different areas. It's hard for you to break stubborn fat. It's hard for you to build muscle. You agree with everything. You become a yes man. Women just are not attracted to that. Women are attracted to high testosterone men. Like that's just what it is. But we live in an environment where that's just not something that is being maximized. And I can give you examples of this. The diets, the foods that you're eating, a lot of them are filled with soy, filled with just seed oils that affect you because they increase your estrogen levels. This is a fact. You can go look this up. These are scientific studies, right? And all of the foods that you see have these seed oils in them. They have these things that are pushing testosterone at an all-time low. Your diet, the way that you live, your lifestyle. We used to be hunters and gatherers. We used to do things. We used to be active. And now we're sitting behind a computer screen and we're not moving, right? And we wonder why our testosterone is so low. All of these things are being created. You're stuck inside. You're stuck in a cubicle where instead you used to be outside. You used to be playing. You used to be doing things that are active. You used to go to the gym a lot. Now we don't do that anymore. So now you see this generation of men being basically feminized to a point where it becomes a horrible show to watch. Just seeing men walk around just depressed, not knowing who they are, not knowing what mission they have. A high testosterone male has a mission, they have a vision that they're pushing all of the time. They're not agreeable. They almost just have their own way of life. And that's a hard man to control. And if you want to control men, drop their testosterone at an all-time low and push your ideals on them. That is the best way to control men nowadays. And that's exactly what's happening, right? And you start to see vegan diets being pushed. I know some men really live and die by the vegan diet. Just look at men who are vegans and look at men who eat meat and look at the difference. There's a big difference in how they look, how they act, how they portray themselves. I used to be on a vegan diet. I remember because I fell for that. I fell for, red meat's bad, all this bad. Humans shouldn't be eating meat. They should be eating plants. Like, you have to understand, the essence of a vegan diet is estrogenic, right? It goes for the seed oils. It goes for a lot of these things that are just unhealthy for a male to have. A lot of these nutrients that you need, your B12s, your omega fatty acids, all of these things that you need, your amino acids. Like, you don't have these specific nutrients to be able to help you become the best version of yourself, which is a high testosterone male. And like I said, testosterone is the elixir of all men. So if you're dropping the elixir, the thing that literally makes you who you are, you start to lose who you are. And you start to just not understand why things are not working out for you, why you're a certain way, why women aren't attracted to you, why you're not achieving your goals, why you're not looking the way that you want to look, the body that you want to have. You lose that because you're in a low testosterone state. And there are natural ways to do this. We can go over that right now. The first thing you need to do, get in the gym, train, move your body, allow for blood flow to happen, allow for your testosterone to naturally increase through movement, which is what a lot of men don't do. We sit behind computer screens and we're docile, we're dormant all the time, right? Your diet, the other thing, you want to make sure you have a balanced diet. Eat red meat. I don't care what anybody says. Men need to eat red meat. And again, media will give you a partial truth, but not the full truth. And they'll make that partial truth seem like it's the full truth. So I'll tell you this, right? And this may change your mindset around red meat. Red meat is bad if you eat it as almost like a cow that eats grains and not a cow that eats grass. So you look at grass-fed beef, right? Grass-fed beef is what you need to be eating. Organic beef, things that come from cows that have been taken care of, that are eating what they were originally intended to eat. That is healthy red meat for you. And red meat has a lot of really good nutrients that help boost your testosterone. You're looking at iron, you're looking at vitamin B12, which is a really big testosterone booster, right, when it comes to nutrients. You're looking at just amino acid profiles that are complete. You're looking at all of these nutrients, obviously protein that has the complete amino acid profile. Like, these are the things that you can't get from just eating plants. You're not supposed to be eating plants, fam. Like that. Just remove that brainwash out of your head. Veganism is an estrogenic diet. Women thrive on the vegan diet, of course, because it allows for their estrogen to go up. And even women need some testosterone as well, right? To have balanced hormonal profiles. With men, they almost have like a female's version of hormonal profile now. At least the majority of men who have low testosterone, they have very high estrogen, they have very low testosterone. And so you see a lot of men jumping on testosterone replacement therapy, different steroids at the age of 16, when your testosterone needs to be in the thousands. It's in the low 200s, the low 100s, and you just feel depressed all the time. That is why male suicide rates are at an all-time high. Depression is at an all-time high in men because our hormonal profiles have been imbalanced through the way that we live, through the what we eat, through just overall like our viewpoint on the entire life axis. You need to be able to understand this because that's the only way you'll be able to become the best version of yourself is if you can increase your testosterone to an optimal state. So make sure you have a very good quality diet, right? Make sure that you're eating red meat. Make sure that you are drinking enough water. Make sure that you're getting enough sunlight to get the vitamin D. Make sure that you're exercising, right? Training. Make sure that you have the proper training structure to be able to do this thing, right? To be able to actually move your body, to be able to build the muscle that you need to build, right? To be able to drop the fat that you have. So that way you can transform yourself as a total man. But instead, we have men who are soft, flabby, right? Low energy, agreeable. They say yes to everything, right? You may be like that. You may be saying yes to everything, right? You don't have an internal rage, which society has made seem like a bad thing. Rage and anger is a really good thing when it's transmuted into the mission that you have. And when you have low testosterone, you don't feel like that, right? You almost just feel down on yourself. It's the depressive phase, right? You have high anxiety because you just don't know what's going on. Like, you're so confused. You're like, why am I in this state? You tend to sleep a lot. One, because you're low in iron. People who sleep a lot or are always sleepy are low in iron. Where do you get that iron? Besides supplements, red meat, right? So these are the things that are happening right now. And work, your 9-to-5 job. Your 9-to-5 job consists of you getting behind a computer, taking meetings all day, being docile, being very just like just dormant when you should be out moving. You should be doing things. Like men back then, they moved. They did a lot more, right? They interacted with more people. We live in isolated environments where we don't talk to anybody, right? You don't really flex the social muscle that you have. All of these things drop your testosterone, right? All of that. Your dopamine receptors are fried because you watch adult movies. I don't know if I can say the P word on this because I don't want to be at a point where I eventually get demonetized, but you're watching things that just aren't really helping you, right? So you live in this low state of being, right? You're masturbating all the time, which is the worst thing you can ever do, right? Because you're destroying your life force. And instead of like procreating or interacting with a woman in a certain way, you're tricking your brain into thinking that, you're getting it all the time. And it's just, we live in a very destructive society right now that is destroying men in real time because testosterone levels are at an all-time low. And like I said, I laid out how to fix these things. You need to go out and do this. And you need to implement this, and you'll feel a big difference in yourself, right? Making sure your diet is complete, making sure that you're hitting your macros that you need, making sure that you're eating whole foods and not artificial foods that have the seed oils in them that are literally dropping your testosterone and increasing your estrogen. So when we live in this epidemic, you tend to say, like, what's the hope for men? I think the hope is just waking up, watching a video like this and changing your lifestyle, right? And being more aware of what you put in your body, being more aware of how you use your body, and overall just changing the lifestyle, right? You don't want to be that person that's taking testosterone replacement therapy or Ozempic or semaglutide, those things that, like, men shouldn't be doing that. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me why men are doing all of these artificial things when all you really need to do is just change your lifestyle and just incorporate little things and stop believing the nonsense that you hear in the media on veganism and the way that you work. Like, buy a treadmill and walk while you work, or just do something. Go take frequent walks. Make sure you go to the gym once a day. Like, move your body, use it, become a man. The only way you're going to do that is by implementing these lifestyle changes. Like, men who have low testosterone, they're very unappealing to women. They're very unappealing to men as well. You just are soft and like you're just pudgy, and it's just, that's the profile of the American male right now. And you can see why society is breaking down in real time. And there's a lot of women that are crying out for help. Like, we need stronger men. We need men who are men. Like, that's something that is a thing now. Women are starting to realize that. And we're losing that because of the way that we live and what is being pushed at us. The type of foods that are being pushed at us. These artificial fast foods that have, I'm not saying you don't enjoy fast food sometimes, right? And even seed oils. Sometimes I do consume seed oils. But if that's the main part of your diet and you're not eating whole foods, say goodbye to testosterone for you. You're going to be low on testosterone. And you can tell a high testosterone man versus a low testosterone man. And again, you need to be able to be aware of these things and start changing these things so this epidemic stops. I want to be the person that helps stop this epidemic. I want to generate a lot more high testosterone, high T men, because that is what's going to help society function in a better way. It's not being toxic. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. That doesn't exist. Masculinity as itself is not toxic, right? Toxic masculinity is basically you're immature. That's all it is. It's not toxic. It's just you're an immature male that has not grown up, right? So let's remove toxic masculinity out of the picture. You need to be able to be a formidable man that can do many things, that can excel in life, that has a grip on who they are and has a solid testosterone level. So let this video be a wake-up call to you to increase your testosterone. Do these things that I mentioned. These are not hard things. These are things that you can implement today and really just change the way that men are in this time. I hope I've inspired you guys. I hope that you've used this as a guide, as a reference point, as a starting point. Start reading up. There's a book called Estrogenics. Read that book. You'll learn a ton about the estrogen that's around and why this is being pushed so hard and why men are in their low testosterone states today. This was just a primer video, but I hope that you got some value from this. Subscribe, comment, like. Let me know what you guys think. And also, tell me what other videos you want me to create, because I'm here to really just help men become the best versions of themselves. And sometimes I may say some things that are controversial, but it's all good because that's why we have healthy debates. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.